What's going on, everybody? Adam here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Power Grip RV Marine Style 50 amp power cord adapter. This is going to be a cord. It's going to be about 25 foot long. We are going to have 50 amp male and female ends. So we'll start with the female end. As you can see here, we're going to have 3 different connections here, 1 flat and then 2 not flat, and then we're going to have a 4th connection point here, and this is going to be our 2nd ground. So what we're going to do is, of course, just figure out what kind of hookup you have. Today we actually have a hookup on the RV, and one thing that I do like about this, we don't have a carrying case, but it comes with this little strap. It's kind of nifty, so whenever we're done using it, we don't have to hassle with a bag. You just wrap this around, so that's really nice. So one thing I like about this is we are going to have to twist lock, so it's not just completely smooth all the way around. It has a couple different letters and such on the back letting you know what's lock and what's not. And we are going to have a threaded lock on here just to keep a lot of that moisture out, make sure we have a clean connection. So the plug that we're going to be looking for is going to be a 50 amp plug. If you have one that looks similar to this, has the 3 prongs but has 2 flat prongs, that's a 30 amp. We don't want to use it with that because it won't work. So we want to have these 3 prongs here, 2 little tabs, and then this 3rd or 4th little connection here, and that's going to connect to the ground side connector on. Now just go ahead and check your cord, try to line it up the best you can, get it put into place, push it in, and we're going to twist it to lock it into place, and then we'll take this threaded portion here just to make sure it's going to stay nice and tight. It's got plenty of grips on it, which makes it really easy to get it all threaded down. And it's also going to be easy and make it easy for all that water to stay out of there. So that is that. So now we're going to take the remaining 25 foot of the cord and go and hook it up to our generator. So now at the other end of the 25 foot cord, we're going to have a male 50 amp, and it has a really nice easy pull lever. I like that a lot because it's going to be really easy to put it in and pull it out without really putting a lot of strain and stress on these prongs. They are high quality prongs, and we do have a nice 90-degree angle, so that's going to help relieve a lot of stress off these prongs. But the handle definitely helps, not only relieving stress on your hands, but also making sure that this is going to stay nice and sturdy over time. So we are using a generator, and this is the plug we're going to be using. As you can see, it goes in there really nicely. Very, very easy to go in and out because of the handle. But what we're going to do is go ahead and fire up the generator, and then once it gets up to speed and is pushing out the right amount of power, then we're going to plug everything in just to make sure we don't short any appliances of any sort of power. So let's go ahead and do that. So I can already hear my refrigerator running, so that is fantastic, and the lights are working. So we got power, but it is hot in here, and since we have that 50 amp cord, we have plenty of power to be able to power both of our AC units. So let's turn this on so we can cool down. Oh yeah, much better. Alright, so everything worked great. The length was perfect. I do think that a 25 or 30 foot cord is going to be the best. It's not going to be too difficult to wind up. To be honest, this is a pretty malleable cord. And especially if you plan on maybe kind of dragging it on rock or concrete like here. We do have a really, really thick coating on it, so I do think it's going to hold up against that over time. And in regards to how you're really going to live with it, I mean, it does have a lot of metal on the inside of it, so it is going to be a little bit more difficult to kind of get it coiled up right. But I think between you just taking the time to do it and this little handle here, it's going to kind of help keep it nice and in place. I just like using cords that allow my RV to run on what it's supposed to. It is a 50 amp plug here, so we're not shorting anything on the inside of our RV. But when it comes to a lot of the random RV parks that you're at. We've been to a couple, and you really don't know what to expect sometimes. If you've never really been there, sometimes the plugs don't work. They're not really putting out the right amount of power, and or they're just not there being used by someone else. So having a bunch of different adapters is always a plus. Yes, we're gonna lose full capacity of the RV, so we're not going to be able to give everything 50 amps. If we do use a converter to use it with a 30 amp plug, we're going to lose a little bit. That's why I like just using a cord that works, but have a couple of adapters on hand just to avoid that situation, so you can at least get power, because that's what it really comes down to. It's going to be extremely difficult to really enjoy your time if you don't really have any power. Yes, we can run some stuff off of propane gas or something like that, but having the right power cord's one thing, but adapters is really important as well. Luckily, we could use the generator today to get everything powered properly, and everything was working great. But all in all, it condenses down pretty nicely. It really didn't take me a whole lot of time, wasn't too difficult, didn't give me a whole lot of trouble. I've had garden hoses give me more trouble than this. So I definitely think it's going to be easy to find a nice storage space for it in all the different spaces we have on the RV. Well, everyone, that just about does it for a look at the Power Grip RV Marine Style Power Cord. And I'm Adam with eTrailer.